So today we're going to hear from Chris Brown, who is the founder and the face of Stay Wild Organics. We have Trieste Redding from FrontFundr, and she's a director and a strategist. And so she'll explain what crowdfunding is and how the platform works. And then we have Carissa Marshall, who is our new fractional CMO of Stay Wild, and she was able to join the team in a bigger capacity this year, kind of like thanks to the co-ownerships. And she's already been doing a lot of stuff for us. And then we have Laura Funk, who actually became a co-owner in one of our prior raises. And I asked Laura to come on because she might actually be one of the most passionate co-owners we have. But it was actually like her story of how chaga mushrooms like healed her gut that kind of put her on this trajectory. And then why she chose Stay Wild because of us being like a small VC company. And yeah, so I think that is our interest. And then I'm Andrea. I'm the creative director with Stay Wild. I've been working with Stay Wild for a couple of years now. And I think we'll start with you, Trist, because I think you're so good at explaining like the technical aspects about crowdfunding.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks for having me here. Excited to speak more about equity crowdfunding and to have Stay Wild back for another raise with FrontFundr. So FrontFundr, we are Canada's leading equity crowdfunding platform. So what that means is that really we make it easy for all Canadians to invest in the most exciting startups and growth stage companies, typically from as little as $250 as well. So when you're looking at equity crowdfunding as a whole, from really the company perspective, some of the benefits are that they're able to build a community of passionate supporters, such as yourselves. They're able to raise capital while also increasing revenue. There's a nice kind of benefit of those who become co-owners becoming customers and customers becoming co-owners, which is a great kind of symbiotic relationship there. And then for a lot of founders, it's a great way as well to set their own terms. Often venture capital and other platforms really demand a lot of the companies in terms of equity and stake, and raising kind of through these means give the companies more flexibility to define their terms. For investors, it's a great opportunity to look at curated investment opportunities. So as an exempt market dealer, we do perform due diligence on all of the companies on the platform, and we only have around a 5% listing rate. So that's 5% of the companies who apply who are actually able to raise on the platform. As well as that, it's a fully automated investment process. You can go through and do everything that you need online. And what's kind of exciting is you have the ability to be your own dragon. That's actually kind of what got me interested. I started with FrontFundr actually as an investor over 6 or 7 years ago now, and have been working with the company for about 5.5, which is great. So with that, we've done over 175 successful raises. We've processed over 200 million through the platform with over 25,000 investments, and have built a community of 49,000 investors. And yeah, as I said, we're very excited to have Stay Wild back for another round and to give more Canadian investors an opportunity to invest in such an exciting business. So that's it for me, Andrea. Thank you.
I love it. I didn't know you came via investment.
Yeah, started as an investor and then actually became a shareholder in FrontFundr itself, and then became an employee in FrontFundr. So it's definitely been a long journey with the company, but I couldn't support the model of equity crowdfunding more. I absolutely love it.
I love it. Yeah, I guess it snowballs. Amazing. Okay, Chris, do you want to tell us a little bit more about Stay Wild and how we even became a company?
Yeah, sure. How it all started for those of you who aren't aware, I guess. It all kind of started back around 2017. I had an accident and sustained a pretty bad concussion, and I was kind of left in a daze, to be honest, for a couple months. And I'd seen a bunch of doctors and physios, and I tried a whole list of different treatments to try to get my cognitive health back to what it was before. And I was still struggling. I was struggling to do simple tasks like write emails, even text messages. I couldn't work. And then I was talking to a friend, and he suggested that I try lion's mane. And I'd heard of lion's mane, obviously, and I'd never had actually eaten it. I'd seen it in the forest. I'd never tried it before. I had heard little pieces, little snips about the benefits of it, but I wasn't sure that it could help with TBI, with traumatic brain injury. So I tried it, and within a few weeks, I was feeling so much more clear. My memory was coming back. I was able to focus. I was way more creative, which also led to Stay Wild. I started brainstorming a bit and looking at other functional mushrooms and what their benefits could be. And then I went down this deep kind of rabbit hole and researched the benefits of other functional mushrooms, the sourcing of them, who's growing them, where are they located, what are they made of, what are the ingredients, what are they using to grow the mushrooms, are they actually mushrooms? There's a whole bunch of information. I spent probably 6 to 8 months just researching. And then we started growing in my garage. Go ahead. You're muted, Andrea.
Didn't you not like what you were seeing when you
Yeah,
were
no,
researching?
yeah. No, I mean, some of it was, I liked some of what I was seeing, and I tried different products, and some seemed to work better than others. So that's what kind of led me down the path of, okay, I'm going to research this a bit. Where are they growing? Are they even growing their own mushrooms, or are they just buying from a supplier in North America or China? So I did about 6 or 8 months probably of this research, and in the beginning we were torn. Do we purchase mushrooms from China, or do we purchase North American mushrooms with the idea that we grow our own mushrooms? So that's where we started in 2019 when we started Stay Wild. We had been growing mushrooms in the garage. That's not what we were using at the time, but we were basically practicing. And we were purchasing organic mushrooms from Oregon. And then we quickly built, well, not quickly. We got a property in Pemberton, in the industrial park, and we built out our facility over the last, I would say, 3 years, 3.5 years. We've just completed the construction of the last portion of it in late last fall. So we've had this journey of, wanting me benefiting from the lion's mane all the way to, investigating where all these mushrooms are coming from, what they're made of, to wanting to start our own mushroom brand and our own supplement brand by growing our own mushrooms. And it's been quite the journey. It's definitely hasn't been easy all the time, that's for sure. But I'm super proud of the team, and I'm super glad, super happy that we did it that way instead of just buying mushrooms from somewhere else and selling them under our brand. So definitely happy we chose that path.
Yeah. And it's kind of also allowed you to diversify and have multiple revenue streams coming in. Because
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. Because we can sell bulk powders to other companies who are looking for a certified organic Canadian mushroom. And we're doing that now. And moving forward, we've applied for a site license with Health Canada to produce our own capsules. And likely we will do encapsulation work for other companies. We've been asked several times uh, to provide pricing on that. We're not quite there yet, but we should be in the next couple of weeks.
I think you should explain really quickly that Stay Wilds is like our brand, but when you're investing with us, you're actually investing with NaturalMed.
Yeah, I can explain that quickly. So the original company was Stay Wild Organics, and back in 2021, I saw a company called Numinous got a license with Health Canada to produce psilocybin and psilocin. I wasn't aware that those licenses were available. I was intrigued by that. I was intrigued by the potential benefits of those medicinal mushrooms for millions of people. And we ended up putting together an application for a license of our own, a dealer's controlled substance dealer's license is what it's called, with Health Canada. And we did that under a new company called NaturalMed Therapeutics. So at one point we had two different entities, legal entities, Stay Wild Organics and NaturalMed Therapeutics. And then in September of 2021, we amalgamated the two into one. So the legal company is NaturalMed Therapeutics, and our brand is Stay Wild Organics.
I just think it's important to differentiate because people are investing their money and it's not just Stay Wild. You're actually becoming like a part of a bigger mushroom colony. Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. I don't want to go much longer, but do you want to just walk us through our product lunches, like what we were able to do this year and even like what's coming up this month or next month? And then I think we'll go over to Carissa.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm super excited about our gummies. We launched our gummies. We've got three different gummy flavors. I know a lot of people struggle with capsules, including myself, because there's so many to take every day, and it's hard to get them all down. And it's hard to remember and remind yourself and kind of force yourself. But so we're able to create these new gummies that it's a much easier way to get your mushrooms in you. So we've got the Super 7 gummy, which is 7 mushrooms. We've got the Focus Energy gummy, which we actually reformulated, and we'll have the new formula out in a couple weeks. It just tastes a little bit better, which I'm super excited about. And then we have the Brain Food gummy, which is lion's mane, bacopa, ashwagandha, great for cognitive health, brain health. We came out with LST, the liquid shroom powder, or the liquid shroom tea in a powder form first. We've now got 2 more powder flavors that we've finalized, and we've got the final formula for the liquid version of it in a can. So it'll be a certified organic, sugar-free, artificial sweetener-free, clean energy drink in a can with lion's mane. So I'm super excited about that. And then the next one, which is going to be launching in the next week, are these secret little, I don't know if you can see this or not. There we go. These are oral thin film strips. They dissolve on your tongue. They go straight into your bloodstream. They bypass your digestive system. One is an energy strip. They're both sugar-free. They both have healthy ingredients. The energy one is caffeine from organic green tea and our lion's mane, vitamin B12, L-theanine. The immunity strip, which is one a day, keep the doctor away, basically, has 7 mushrooms in it, 1,000 IU of vitamin D3, K2, algae-based, organic, and then vitamin C, quercetin, elderberry, trace minerals. So they're both the immunity strips, I think, are going to be great for everyone who just wants to stay healthy, and it's a great way to take your mushrooms, but also have other supplements that can help keep you healthy and not, nobody can afford to be sick in the winter, really, or nobody can afford to be sick anytime. So those would be great for people to boost your immunity. And then the strips are going to be awesome the energy strips are going to be great for just little energy boosts during the day. It's 50 milligrams of caffeine. And like I said, it's from organic green tea. So it's not like a coffee hit where it's instant and you could be kind of shaky or sweaty palms. It's just a nice, subtle energy boost. So super excited about those. Those are launching in the next week.
Yeah, you haven't showed it to anyone yet.
No.
So yeah, keep that in the fold here. Awesome. Okay, so now we'll get Carissa, our fractional CMO, to kind of talk, I guess, about like the future of blowing up the brand a little bit more of Stay Wyld.
Yeah, for sure. So a little bit of background. I joined Stay Wyld as an ads manager, and I was running the digital ad campaigns for Google and for Facebook and for Instagram. I'm sure you've seen them stalking you on the internet. So I was brought on to start with that, and I fell in love with the brand and the team, and I started naturally taking on more roles just because I loved it. So I ended up approaching Chris and saying, hey, I see a need for a fractional CMO position. Would you be interested? And of course, he said yes. So that's kind of how I got brought on to the next phase of my involvement in Stay Wyld.
Love it. Amazing. Okay, now Laura. Oh, I guess you can talk a little bit about what we have planned for next year. Like we're gonna be launching a new website, all the stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we have a very aggressive sales strategy going into Q1 for 2025, a very robust marketing plan. Over the past almost year that I have been with Stay Wyld, we've really nailed down our brand voice and have been very intentional with our ad spend dollars. Segmenting our buyer streams has been proven extremely successful for us. And we've also rolled out new influencer marketing campaigns, which is going to be a huge hit for the LST strips that Chris just mentioned to you. We're launching a new website. The new website is going to be a critical part and do a much better job telling our story and what sets us apart. Like we grow our local mushrooms, obviously. We're transparent with what's in our products. That's going to be really important. And then also it showcases our new product line extremely well. The US expansion plan has been at the forefront of my mind. The biggest hurdle going into the US was for us the shipping costs, because we offer free shipping within Canada, and the shipping costs are substantially lower in the US. But we found a solution to that, and we're rocking and rolling into the US now. So we have a large go-to-market strategy for US expansion.
Amazing. Thanks, Carissa. Now I want to talk with Laura Funk, who kind of went from customer to co-owner to telling everybody about mushrooms. And yeah, do you want to share your story about like chaga or kind of like where you were at when you chose mushrooms?
Yeah, no problem. So I basically I hit a wall when I turned 40. My background was that I had a few different health issues, mainly being I've suffered from migraines, really, really horrible migraines since I was about 15 or 16 years old. And then coupled on that, I have colitis. So I've been on tons of meds all through my teenage years, my 20s, my 30s to kind of cope with those different issues that I've had. One of the main things that I was taking constantly for colitis is steroids, which, as everybody knows, that's not something you want to be on for a long period of time. And I was on it pretty much constantly. And there was no other issue, like things that would help with my symptoms. So when I hit age 40, I like threw my hands up in the air. I was like, this is it. I've got to figure this out. I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I started to try different things, which I'd kind of always thought in the past were a little bit voodoo-ish. I went to acupuncture, started to like really get into the like Chinese medicine realm of it. And as many of you probably know, mushrooms are a big part of Chinese medicine. So I opened up my mind to that. My acupuncturist actually started chatting with me about chaga and lion's mane and maybe trying to incorporate a couple of those things into my life. I live out in White Rock, and she actually works out in White Rock, but is also based out of a Whistler location. So of course she comes to me and says, you know what, I know this amazing company that is based out of Pemberton. They sell their mushrooms where I work in Whistler. Maybe you want to take a look into that and try some of those. So I went online and I found the Stay Wild mushrooms, and I ordered some chaga and some lion's mane to start. Basically, within like 2 or 3 weeks of trying the chaga, my colitis symptoms started to calm down. I was able to start slowly reducing my steroid intake. I was noticing that my migraines were calming down. I wasn't having to take these intense migraine meds all the time, which really messed with me cognitively and interfered with my work. So fast forward about a month or two from there, I actually stopped taking steroids completely. My guts were completely better. I actually couldn't believe the change. I could go out to restaurants and not stress out about everything that I was eating. And I was a more functional worker just generally, and all over just a much happier person after I started taking these mushrooms. So I went down the rabbit hole. I basically started to try to absorb everything about functional mushrooms, and really did a deep dive into Stay Wild to make sure that what I was taking was going to be the best product that I possibly could. Nobody wants to take Chinese powders kind of thing. I was a little bit worried about that realm of it. So just really educating myself about Stay Wild was pretty much eye-opening with how great the company is. Just being that small business run by a bunch of great people who are always happy to chat all mushrooms with you all the time. So when Stay Wild actually opened up its first FrontFundr, I couldn't wait to be a part of the company, and like so proud of everything that they've done to move forward and all the new products. I'm really excited. Chris, I didn't know about those strips. So I'm jacked to try those. I can't wait.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you. I love that story too. It kind of gives me okay, so I think those are all the presentations. We're going to roll into some Q&As. I saw the first one that came in. Amanda said, what is your plan to utilize the Health Canada license? So I think that's a Chris question.
Yeah, I can speak to that briefly here. I've been working on some projects with that license. So we have had two harvests, and so we received the license in February. We started growing right away, and we've had two harvests. So those have been dehydrated and stored, and they're in our vault now. And we're working on a couple of different potential projects with a clinical trial. I can't name, I have an NDA signed, so I can't really discuss the details of it, but it's super exciting to use this medicine to treat TBI with professional athletes. So that's one path. So that'd be using our product through a clinical trial that's approved by Health Canada to see the impacts it would have on TBI. Because I know there's some good studies with mice that have shown substantial improvement using psilocybin for traumatic brain injuries. And then there's some other projects we're working on with a professor to create some joint intellectual property. I can't discuss the details of that at the moment either, but we're pretty excited about those two things. And then we also applied for a GMP certificate. So our site would be a GMP facility, which is good manufacturing practices, which would allow us to import to countries like Australia. So we hope to have that within a month or so, and then we could actually look at exporting some of the psilocybin that we have grown here.
Amazing. And I guess like where psilocybin is at, like in terms of it being more widely used, it's really important for us to be invested in it so that it will ultimately become widely used.
Yeah, that's where these clinical trials are really, really beneficial because they're pushing towards legalization because if they can prove that there's medicinal benefit to using psilocybin or psilocin, then it just helps fast track the legalization for therapeutic use at least.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we're always saying we're part of the mushroom revolution, and so it's like all those different aspects. Yeah, amazing. Brock wants to know what the plan is to go into retail and how is that being done?
Yeah, so Laura and I touched on that briefly this morning in an email. We currently have a distributor in Canada, but I have a meeting with them in the next few days to discuss the future of that. We may set up our own sales team and tackle this on our own and go direct to retail. We are in some retail stores in Canada through the distributor. I'm not sure if that model works well for us, so we're going to be looking at definitely at the option of setting that up and to do it directly with our own sales team.
I think Brock's actually looking for a job. He says,
Oh,
if you need someone in Ontario, let's chat. And
as a rep.
go over. Amazing. Therese, what do you think is one of like the biggest questions people have about the investment process
Yeah, great question. So I think what comes up often is people get a little intimidated about the questions that we ask as part of the investment process, particularly as it pertains to kind of creating your financial profile. So one thing that's important to know is we are an exempt market dealer that is regulated by the various securities commissions in Canada. So we want to make sure that we're obviously processing all the investments in a way that is secure and seamless and aligns with all the securities commissions. So as part of that exempt market dealer status, we have to perform suitability on all investments. So that means performing something called Know Your Product, which is the due diligence process that we do with companies, as well as Know Your Client, which is the suitability that we do for individual investors. So at the end of the day, the reason that we ask those questions is because they are required. We want to make sure that the company that you're investing in is, suitable for the opportunity. That's why we go through due diligence. And as I mentioned earlier, really only about 5% of the companies that apply actually list on FrontFundr. And we also want to make sure it's a suitable investment for you as an individual as well. So as part of that, we want to make sure we're asking the right questions. We don't ask any more questions than we need to, but we do need to make sure we're performing that suitability accurately. So just so you have some added confidence as to, why we're asking those questions. And the other big thing I'll say is, we are more of a modern tech platform for making investments. So if people are familiar with more of the offline way of investments as accredited investors, kind of signing all the documents in person and going back and forth, the process is entirely done online. So you can go through in a single session. If you're deemed suitable, automatically you'll go through, you'll get the document signing, you can make payment all online. You can even pay via credit card now as well, which is great. So lots of options for you as an investor. But yeah, just know there's a reason we ask the questions that we do when setting up the financial profile. And it's for the benefit of both the investor as well as the company raising capital, and something that we are required to do as an exempt market dealer.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jen is wondering, can you explain how our investment brings us returns? Is it primarily product offering on investment and owning shares?
Yeah, so initially you'll be issued shares in the company, depending on the amount you invest, as well as product. And then the exit strategy could go any of, I would say, these three ways. One would be that we stay private and we get to a point where we could pay dividends. That's a potential. Then another potential would be we go public on our own. That's another potential exit. And if we did that, then we'd be on the public market and investors would have the opportunity to sell their shares on the open market. The other exit potential that I see would be a merger and acquisition with another company. And that could be with a private company, or that could be with a public company. And if it was with a public company, that would typically be shares in that public company that again would be able to be traded on the open market. If it was a private company, then it would be a payment based on the valuation of the purchase agreement itself.
Thank you. And then, Therese, does FrontFundr, in those scenarios, how does FrontFundr get involved?
Yeah, good question. So we definitely like to keep individuals up to date about everything that's going on with the company's post-raise. So we'll definitely be a part of that. For example, the instance where a company might go public, we'll need to ensure that everyone kind of gets the direct kind of share certificate and resolution DRS that they can then bring to a brokerage of their choice and start trading. So we've had instances of that in the past, and you can essentially at that point kind of bring your share ownership certificate and all the shares you hold to something like Wealthsimple or to, RBC Direct Investing, something like that. So you can begin openly trading the shares. If it's a case of an acquisition of some kind, we would definitely be in touch with the companies, support, Stay Wyld in that case with communications, and make sure either whether it's investors are getting paid out for their investment or shares are transferring to a new company, that we're involved in that process as well. So definitely want to make sure we're staying up to date with everyone. And yeah, it'll be, in the event of an exit scenario, that it's a seamless process for investors as well, is definitely one of our priorities.
Love that. Thank you. So we're at 9:30 now. If anybody has any more questions, maybe just throw them in right now. We have one asking, what is the current value of the company?
The valuation is based on so you're investing at 25 cents a share. And the current valuation, Trieste, do you know the calculation right now based on the 25 cents a share?
Yeah, good question. We should have it on the Stay Wyld campaign page. So let me pull it up here.
I don't have it open.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat. The pre-money valuation, that's the figure?
Yeah, it's around 12.3 million.
Yeah, that's an easy question. There you go.
Good question. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. Perfect. And okay, I guess Brock is wondering how you come to that valuation.
The valuation was determined a couple years ago. We've had several investment. We have a venture capitalist firm that invested in the company a couple years ago, along with seed round investors years ago. This is the first time we've done a crowdfunding exercise. So the valuation 2 years ago was established, and then it has increased slightly with our sales and new products and receiving the dealer's license for controlled substances.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a quick, it's not so simple as like a manufacturing company like GM, where you can just take revenue and multiply EBITDA. This is a bit different market. So if you look at cannabis or other companies that are in the medicinal mushroom space, let's just say publicly on the public markets, I won't name any names, but there are companies that are operating in the public market that have licenses or working with psilocybin or other controlled substances. And their valuations are certainly not based on EBITDA because they're all losing substantial amounts of money every quarter. So it's more it's not an easy formula or as easy of a formula as say a manufacturer with a multiplier of EBITDA. And there's a lot of kind of like with cannabis, there was a lot of speculation early on before legalization. We're kind of in that infancy stage as well now, where psilocybin is not legal. Do we think it will be legalized? We sure hope so, and it seems to be going down the same path. It has much different benefits, health benefits than cannabis, and much more effective benefits, in my opinion.
Perfect. And then Tris, do you want to just quickly walk Tyler through how to get started as an investor? Because I think you can speak very confidently about the process with FrontFundr.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do that. So I know Andrea just shared the link to the campaign page in the chat, which is great. So you can visit that link. There's a campaign video you can review, offering materials, offering documentation that includes information about the company. And once you've kind of made that decision to invest, you can go ahead and hit the Invest Now button. If you're new to the FrontFundr platform, you will have to create an account. So that would be the first step. And then once the account is created, you'll be brought back into the investment process where you can go through these stages. So as mentioned earlier, we do ask some questions so we can perform suitability. So really going through those questions and kind of determining how much you can invest is going to be that first critical step. So if you're a retail investor, and for some context, that's anyone who kind of earns less than 200,000 per year or has net financial assets under a few million, would be considered a retail investor. If deemed suitable, you can invest up to a maximum of $10,000 in the company in the offering. So that's part of that suitability step. Once you go through that stage, you'll be sent the offering documents for signature. You'll be able to do so all online. Once the documents are signed, you can then fund your investment and choose your payment method. We have lots of options available. Direct deposit, wire transfer, e-transfer, even credit card as an available payment option. And once you've paid, you've done everything on your end. Process is complete, and you'll just be waiting until the round closes and Stay Wyld officially accepts all investments. And I know we've got an upcoming closing date in 8 days, so that'll be happening soon, which is fantastic. And if you have questions at any point, you can reach out to us at support@frontfundr.com. We've also got a phone number that you can give a call or an online chat for support as well. So lots of different areas to get in touch if you have any questions.
Amazing. Yes.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah. And we did leave out, though, with your investment, you get all of our new products that we launched this year. So you get all of our gummies and the LST sugar-free energy drink. This has been recorded, so I will send out an email to the people that signed up on our website to the Q&A. So if you didn't sign up, just put your name in that, and then that'll go out to you. And then if you have more questions, we have an investment email. It's invest@staywildorganics.com. I think that's everything. Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Bye.